how's it going? I'm Lennan. Thanks for wandering by. So today I have it's kind of going to be an amalgamation of a practice that I'm trying out. I'm trying out. And I want to show you the things that I'm using in this practice. And it all started because of Lennan Smith's book. So Lennan Smith is a friend of mine and a fellow YouTuber, tarot tuber. We've done some collabs before, so I'll leave some of those in the description box below. Plus, I'll also leave a link to where Lennan describes the creation of this particular book. So this is called the Synthesis Oracle, Guides, Strides, and Tides. And it says on the back, Synthesis Oracle, 100 plus doodles for the curious and perpetually lost. So essentially, I'll just open up to like one page so you can see. Essentially, what Lennan has in here are doodles that she had originally thought of. She was creating like an oracle, and then she was thinking it was going to be like a coloring book. And these are all these doodles, and she talks about how she's not like a professional artist and how these are all very raw, very like, 2D drawings, and how they come from a place of like visions or something that she channeled, or these are like idea doodles, right? And she was going to make it an oracle, but then she decided, I think she was going to do the coloring book, but then it just ended up being like a coloring book oracle, which is this, which I think is so interesting, like an oracle book. I know that there's like, the practice of bibliomancy, which I really enjoy. But I really love the idea, that this is Lennan, because I just love how Lennan thinks, like, where she and I are constantly going back and forth, like, oh, you did this cool thing. Let me piggyback off of this cool thing that you were talking about and thinking about, which is super fun. But in any case, she, like this idea of like bibliomancy with the oracle, and that it's so like raw and like from the gut, which is how I feel like what I learned from Lennan and like her approach to a lot of this stuff. I mean, like I've learned a lot about Thoth from Lennan because I've been watching her for some time, and she does Thoth Thursdays. Anyway, I need to say this stuff about Lennan before I dive into like the practice itself. But what was I saying? What I've learned from Lennan and the way that she approaches magic and the esoteric and tarot, and a lot of this I got from Thoth, and also just like life in general, is from a very raw place. Like she doesn't like filter a lot. She's vulnerable, and yeah, like it comes from a raw like chord center. Like it's very, what's the word? Because because I've used her the quintessential Thoth, which is like this, like it's like the blood of the card, like so. And I feel like that's how Lennan kind of approaches things, and she's got this like wild woman, feral quality, which she's like trying to embody. She's actually been doing like a whole series on that book, The Women Who Run with Wolves, which I haven't been able to commit to reading yet, but I will. I'm glad that it's going to be in the archives. Anyway, I'm just rambling on about Lennan, just to tell you that like that's an aspiration that I have. This like the rawness, like I feel that rawness in me as well, like, and vulnerability too, especially when I'm like writing poetry. When you're putting something like a book out in the world, or when you're putting something like a creation out in the world, it's very raw, but it's pure Lennan is how I feel like. But I'm excited to see how I'll use it, right? And thinking of that kind of like real, just that real human, you know, that real human quality. I don't know if I'm making sense to you, but it just feels like it's this very human thing. And like when you get to that like center part, that raw part, then you can tap into like next level things. And I feel like that's the other tools of Lennan's, the 2 decks that I have of hers that I use frequently, they do that same sort of thing for me. It's like this boiled down, you know, it's this boiled down thing. It's this huge, grand, esoteric, seemingly like unreachable, infinite idea that gets boiled down into something very human. And then it's like in that's how you can touch things that are divine. Does that make sense? And I feel like there's something of that in here. There's going to be something of that in here for me too. Wait, so that's like what I'm after, like in general with all things. And I feel like the things that Lennan produces are really great tools for me to do that type of thing in my practice, for me to like really root into my humanity and then extend that out in some way to reach something beyond me. I guess that's at the heart of what I like to do with a spiritual practice, you know, and I've been like unlearning and learning a spiritual practice now over the last couple of years with, you know, tarot as at the forefront of my practice. Anyway, so what I want to do with this cool idea, the Synthesis Oracle, this very cool book that has doodles, drawings, that are not meant to be like, you know, I mean, they are masterpieces, but it's a little bit more simple, but it's not at the same time. I don't know how to explain it. I did show you one. I'll show you a couple others. But you get the idea, right? So like these are, you know, these are drawings. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say 2D because they're 3D drawings. But what I want to do is I want to use the Thoth. I want to pull a card from the Thoth. And I want to use bibliomancy with the Synthesis Oracle. And then I want to color. I want to color and paint or draw and be inspired and use the color scale from the Thoth Tarot. So like I've been interested in, ever since I got the great workbook by Numinous Press. I'll link to that video where I work in the workbook with the decans, but I'm just gonna flip through while I talk about this. I've been really interested in the color scales. So like there's several things about Thoth, you know, one of them is the astrology, right? So learning the decans, which I've done. I mean, I'm still always learning, but I've done like my first kind of go around and a half now with the decans. There's all of the symbolism, which I've gotten into that. Part of the symbolism is the color scales, right? There's also the Kabbalah, which I have plans to do more involved studies with. And like I said, there's the color scales. So there's very particular color scales, colors that were chosen for each of the cards, and they repeat, as we saw when I did the decans, that you can see the two, when you have the two majors and the minor card, you can see those colors kind of blending. And so because for me, this is going to be like a bit of like a spiritual, but also very playful, fun type of practice, is that I want to do something creative, colorful, artsy. I'm not an artist at all, but what I want to play with the colors. Before I do like a formal kind of color study, I just want to pull a Thoth card, bibliomancy into the oracle, and then I want to color that page with the color scale from the card that I chose. So I have here, let me put, oh, and by the way, I didn't say, Lennan's book, this Synthesis Oracle, is available on Amazon. So I'll definitely link to it. I'll definitely link to where you can get it down below. So cool. Just like such a really, really neat idea. Let me show you a couple of the tools the arty tools that I have for this. And then what I'll do is I'll pull the Thoth card and I'll open up the book and I'll talk about the reading. I don't know why I had to do air quotes for that. It will actually be a reading. And then I'll see how inspired I feel, like where the inspiration leads me for the piece of artwork, because I might color in here, but I also have a sketchbook that I might want to like bleed some of it into. So we'll see. Okay. Let me show you some of the things that I grabbed for, like, you know, to color with. So I snagged from my daughter her set of colored pencils. I need to order like a new set of colored pencils. But these are just what? These are like Crayolas mixed with some, mostly Crayolas, I think. Yeah, so these are colored pencils. So that's number one, Crayola colored pencils. Then we have, so I have this. Okay, I've shown you guys this before. I have a glass dip pen. So pretty. Sorry, that's the right side up. I have this pretty glass dip pen and inks. And I have a whole set of these like shimmery fountain pen watercolor inks that are like very inexpensive, because I was like trying to see if this was something that I was gonna do. So I have these, and I don't know if I'll be able to look at this. Like if I'll be able to, can you guys see that underneath? Let me just open one so you can see like this like amazing like blue. Oh, pretty, right? You can see. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I don't know if like this, the paper is definitely not made for like watercolors, you know, but I might do some accents, or that I might take the, you know, take the idea and run with it and use like the sketchbook. See, this is where I did some of the swatching of those particular little inks. So I'm going to, oh, and one last thing, I have these watercolor brushes. So they're these pens, and I use them because like I start out with the glass dip pen, and then I use these brushes from there. I mean, and this is all like really, really just, see, oh, this even needs to get rinsed out. This is all really, really just like me playing and doodling. These are three different, yeah, that's the one I use the most. And I got, this is just a set that I got on Amazon. What are these? On Tombow. These are Tombow water brushes. Anyway, so I want to see where the inspiration leads me. I've got my orange and bergamot candle that's giving me like all the citrusy like vibes. Oh my gosh, it just smells delicious in here. And yeah, and so now I think what I want to do is draw a card and do this reading. I don't think I'm gonna have like any particular question in mind. I think I just want to see you know, what the card and the synthesis oracle have to tell me together. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm using my trimmed Thoth that I edged in this brown. I thought about using Lennan's deck, but I think I will do that again. I'll use that at some other point. I think I want to go with the original Thoth. Yeah, I just kind of want to get into a calm, like, meditative kind of headspace with this and see like what, like the connections that I can make for myself and where it makes my mind go. For some reason, I keep feeling like this is something that this is gonna be part of like how I'm healing from just a lot of stuff that I dealt with over the last couple of years. Like literally last year at this time was when I lost my job. Luckily, I didn't have to look for work for all that long. I got a new job within a month and a half. So that was very, very lucky. And my partner has been, you know, ill the last couple years too. So that's been another rough journey. All right, what do we got for me today? Oh, we have the Prince of Cups. He is kind of more synonymous to me of the, with the King of Cups in the Waite Smith. So he's the airy, air of water is the Prince of Cups to me. And like, pretty sure Prince of Cups is associated with Scorpio decans. And then we have like on the card, you see the snake and the eagle, scorpion, which is the transformation of Scorpio from the scorpion to the snake to the eagle. The Prince of Cups for me is about like, what is it that you actually desire, you know? In one of the, it's sticking with me right now, one of the Thoth books, it talks about like how you're riding this chariot because all the princes are driving these like chariots, and this chariot is like skating above the water but not actually submersing into it or getting into the water. So it's sort of like this riding above, you know, what you actually want and trying to like going for like mastery over your emotions. This really, really resonates with me right now because I'm very much working on like working through things that have caused me emotional distress and pain without letting them like sink me, drown me. I don't want to get too far underwater with it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, I'm not sure if I want to just like skate across the top of the water without like actually feeling anything. So there's got to be something in between. And like, look at all the, you know, like the droplets that are coming from these like cloud formations is like that taste of emotion. I don't know, I'm kind of going off, you know, on my own kind of tangent here. So let's see. So this is my like focal point, the card, and I want to see what the Synthesis Oracle can bring me to like illuminate this even more, and then inspire me, how it inspires me, what inspires me to you know, create moving forward. And just, you know, opening the book is going to give me like just the first spot of that. So let me put my Prince of Cups over here, and we're just going to like open to a random page here in the Synthesis Oracle, see what feels right. Don't you guys love the sounds of things? Sorry, I'm like fully doing ASMR here. Okay, that's it. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Let me just look at the drawing first. It's like a dressing room. with these, like a mirror that's lighted up, that has that lit up, those mirrors that have that, am I in here? Okay. And the plug, what are these over here? Hooks. And then the chair. Wow, that's so interesting. It's immediately in thinking of these like models or actors, like dressing room, or like a old-timey dressing room, or like, yeah, it's like backstage is what it feels like. This is like where the person gets ready backstage, because that's really the only places that I've seen that have these like really lit up mirrors, these vanity mirrors, you know? All right, let me read what Lennan has to say here about this. I don't want to light anything on fire. So, Muse's Laboratory. Many speak of the aspirations of the artist. They speak of their talent, their technique, their use of color. Oh my God. That's so funny, because that's like what I'm doing. Lennan, oh my goodness. Okay, but what of their muse? The artist and muse have a symbiotic relationship. Therefore, the muse needs recognition as well. Here's a look into the muse's lab. Oh, this is so interesting. This is the place the muse goes to get ready, to be the best version of themselves for the artist's vision to be manifested. Let me be clear. They don't have to wear anything on their body or face, but if they chose to, there's a place for them to collect their baubles, powder their nose, don a silk robe, or just get back in touch with self. Fill this laboratory with your favorite things. Let it act as a sacred space. What's hanging from the hooks? Are there things tucked in the drawers? Oh, that's so interesting. I really love that. You guys, I'm making this book mine, so it's gonna be in the spirit of how Lennan does things. Like, I already just, did that. That's happening. Let me move this out of the way so I can have a little bit of space here for you. Okay. So, like, I definitely am breaking the binding, and I'm going to be coloring all in this. It could be like, it could get like watercolor splatters everywhere. It could bleed through. There might be holes. Like, I want this to be mine, and I think that's precisely why Lennan did something like this, and I think she would get a big kick out of that. So let's talk about how these things are connected. So like I said, like I've been dealing with like a bunch of emotional baggage that I have not released, that I want, like I'm processing, but I haven't been able to release. And a lot of how I process my emotions is through creativity, writing, and I feel like in my poetry and things like that, and I feel like and adding in this layer of coloring this in and thinking about like this preparing to this preparation time is what I'm thinking, like preparing to greet my muse. That's going to allow me, that creative space to process my emotions and figure out what it is that I really want. Also preparing for feeling those emotions, and also preparing for getting after what it is that I really want. I love this. Yeah, so those are hooks that you can put your favorite things on. I think this works really well. I'm going to start to grab, let's look in here. Let me grab out a bunch of blues and greens from we've got these. I need to sharpen these. Whew. Lots of greens and blues in here. There's got to be some sort of purple though, I think. We need the purple as well. Nope, that's brown. Let me grab a purple, couple of purples. We'll see if those work. Is this the purple? we'll play. We're gonna play with some things. And then what else is here? We've got some, I feel like I covered the blues. Maybe this is the type of purple that we're gonna look for. I don't wanna pull too many different colors. I wanna just have like a couple, so that I don't go crazy. I think this is it with the greens. We might need black. Might need some black though, to like, for outlining maybe. And then I think I definitely want to, I'll put a piece of cardboard or something here, and maybe on like on the outskirts of it, like a frame, I'll do the maybe some sort of like clouds to nod to this, in the corners with a watercolor. And I'm not gonna paint a color on camera because I kind of just want to do that on my own, and experience that. And then I will, if I if I am able to show you. I don't know how long this is gonna take me, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to show you the final result. But if I get into this book and start doing, you know, my plan is to continue to do this practice often. And yeah, I'm gonna take myself back into that like meditative space with this oracle message and this tarot card, and do the coloring part. Okay, I thought I'd just pop back on. I didn't know that I would just brr and go so fast and color. I didn't do any painting. I just used the colored pencils, but I yeah, I felt like I was really channeling and putting into here what I'm looking the most for. And I hung books on the hooks because these are my aspirations for poetry and books that I would like to write, mostly poetry books. So that's there. And yeah, I mean, I think I did okay with the colors. What do you guys think? So yeah, that's it. Here's the Prince of Cups, my muse's laboratory, full of my emotional and spiritual desires and things that I feel like I can manifest creatively, and that will help me along my like way in terms of dealing with emotions. So thanks to Lennan. This is the Synthesis Oracle, available on Amazon. And thank you guys for sticking with me. I hope that you enjoyed this. I will do it again if you want me to, or I'll share with you how I get along, you know, in this book. It's gonna be it's gonna be like covered and like full, and I might even like stick stuff in here eventually too. So yeah, thanks again for sticking with me. I hope that you all have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye.